If you are stuck in the space where they act attached but refuse commitment, you are not in a relationship, and you are not single either. You are in commitment limbo. And commitment limbo is not a neutral phase. It is a psychological environment that rewires your nervous system. It makes you hypervigilant. It makes you obsessed with signals. It makes you confuse anxiety with love. Because you are bonded to someone who has not chosen you clearly. Here is the hard truth that will calm you down immediately. Commitment limbo is not confusion. Commitment limbo is a structure. It benefits the person who gets access without accountability, and it punishes the person who bonds through security. And the reason you cannot relax is not because you are weak. It is because your attachment system is doing its job. Your attachment system is built to seek clarity and safety. Limbo is the opposite of that. In this episode, I am going to explain what commitment limbo really is in avoidant attachment, why avoidants stay in it, why anxious attachment becomes addicted to it, and the calm moves that either turn it into a real relationship or end it cleanly. If you stay until the end, you will stop taking the limbo personally, and you will know exactly what to do next without chasing, without over-explaining, and without begging someone to choose you. Let's define commitment limbo in a way your body will recognize instantly. Commitment limbo is partner-level closeness without partner-level agreement. It is intimacy without protection. It is consistency in bursts without consistency as a standard. It is emotional access without relational clarity. It is being close enough to bond and uncertain enough to suffer. And I want you to picture it like a door that is left half open. You can see the room. You can feel the warmth. You can almost walk in. But you are never fully invited, and you are never fully sent away. So you keep standing at the door, waiting for it to open wider, and the longer you stand there, the more your nervous system turns the waiting into obsession. That is limbo. And limbo has 3 doors that keep you trapped. Door 1 is hope. They stay close enough to keep your nervous system believing a relationship is forming. Door 2 is denial. They deny the label, deny the future, deny the responsibility, deny that you are allowed to want clarity. Door 3 is return. Every time you start to detach, they return with just enough warmth to reopen hope. Those 3 doors create the most addictive relationship structure there is, because you never get full safety and you never get full loss. You get a constant almost. And the human brain does not let go of almost. It tries to complete it. Now, why does avoidant attachment create this state? Because avoidant attachment is organized around autonomy as safety. Many avoidants learned early that closeness costs, dependence creates disappointment, and being needed becomes pressure. So they build relationships with an escape hatch. In limbo, the escape hatch is built into the structure. They get closeness when they want it, and they can withdraw when closeness becomes too real. They can say they never promised anything. They can say you assumed. They can say you are rushing. That keeps them safe from accountability, and it keeps their nervous system from feeling trapped. But what it does to you is it makes you live in a constant question mark. And your nervous system will not stop asking questions inside a question mark. Now, I want to separate 2 truths that people keep mixing up. The first truth is that avoidance can have real feelings in limbo. The second truth is that feelings are not the same as capacity. This is where people lose years. They sense real feeling, and they assume feeling should lead to commitment. But commitment is not a feeling. Commitment is an ability. Commitment is tolerating responsibility, tolerating repair, tolerating the reality that another person's emotional world matters to you. Many avoidants can feel deeply and still avoid the container that makes you safe. So, if you are anxious, the goal is not to prove they feel. The goal is to see if they can choose you consistently. Because wanting is not choosing. Wanting can exist in someone who still cannot build with you. Now let's talk about why avoidants stay in commitment limbo, because this is where the analysis becomes stabilizing instead of confusing. The first reason is regulation. Limbo lets them manage loneliness without triggering the full threat of dependency. They get companionship, sex, affection, attention, and soothing on their terms. They can feel connected without feeling trapped. The second reason is identity protection. Many avoidants built an identity around being independent. The label threatens that identity because the label implies obligation. It implies you can ask for consistency. It implies you can ask for repair. It implies they might have to show up even when they are stressed. So they keep it undefined because undefined feels like freedom. The third reason is control of pace. In limbo, they decide when closeness happens. They decide when distance happens. They decide what the relationship is allowed to be called. That gives them nervous system control. The fourth reason is future avoidance. The label implies a future. It implies progression. It implies integration. Meeting friends, planning weekends, being accountable, being seen. Avoidants often fear that future because it feels like a loss of autonomy. So they keep the future from arriving by keeping the relationship unnamed. The fifth reason is fear of being wrong. Some avoidants are terrified of choosing wrong. They are terrified of being trapped in a relationship they cannot exit without guilt. So they stay in the middle because the middle avoids the risk of commitment and avoids the pain of loss. The middle feels safer to them until it becomes torture for you. Now, let's talk about what commitment limbo does to anxious attachment, because this is where people start blaming themselves, and that blame keeps them stuck. Anxious attachment is organized around safety through closeness and clarity. So when an avoidant gives closeness in bursts, you bond. Then, when they withdraw, your nervous system goes into emergency mode. You start scanning. You start interpreting. You start making meaning out of tiny things. You start asking, did I ruin it? Did I ask too much? Did I say something wrong? Should I text? Should I pull back? Should I be chill? And that constant internal debate becomes the relationship. You are not in a relationship with them. You are in a relationship with your own anxiety about them. And the reason limbo is so addictive is because every time they return, you get relief. Relief is not love. Relief is your nervous system coming out of threat. That relief becomes reinforcement. You become bonded to the person who can remove the discomfort they created. That is how intermittent reinforcement works. Closeness, withdrawal, panic, return, relief, deeper bonding, repeat. Now, I want to name the 3 proofs people use to stay in limbo, because this is where your mind tricks you into staying. Proof 1 is texting. They text every day, so it must mean something. Proof 2 is sex. We are intimate, so it must mean something. Proof 3 is returns. They always come back, so it must mean something. Here is the truth. Texting is not commitment. Sex is not commitment. Returning is not commitment. All 3 can exist in a structure where you are still not being chosen. The only proof of commitment is consistent behavior over time that reduces uncertainty and includes repair when there is distance. That is it. So if you are using texting, sex, or returns as proof, you are measuring the wrong thing. And that is why you keep getting hurt. Now, here is the most important distinction in this entire episode. There is limbo that is a brief transition while two people build slowly. And there is limbo that is a lifestyle. Transition limbo has forward motion. It becomes clearer over time. You see more consistency, more integration, more repair. They do not just return, they also improve. Lifestyle limbo has loops. It repeats. The same withdrawals, the same excuses, the same vagueness, the same refusal of definition, the same collapse when you ask for clarity. The way you tell the difference is not by listening to their words. It is by observing what happens after you set one calm standard. But before we get to the standard, I want to name the two traps that keep you stuck. Trap 1 is converting presence into proof. They are still texting, so they must care. They are still sleeping with me, so it must mean something. They are still calling, so we are basically together. No, presence is not proof. People can be present and still not build. Trap 2 is bargaining with yourself. Maybe labels do not matter. Maybe I am too intense. Maybe I should not pressure. Maybe I should just enjoy it. Enjoyment is not the issue. Safety is. You can enjoy someone and still be in a structure that harms you. Now, I want to give you the clearest definition of limbo that you will ever hear. Limbo is when you are giving relationship benefits while receiving relationship uncertainty. That is it. And the fastest way out is to stop paying for closeness with uncertainty. Now let's talk about the avoidant return pattern, because this is where people think progress is happening when it is not. Avoidants often return in one of four styles. One style is tenderness. They return soft, they miss you, they are affectionate, they act bonded. This is the most dangerous return because it makes you feel safe and it makes you forget the structure. Another style is intensity. They return with passion, sex, big words, big energy. That intensity creates a surge in your nervous system and bonds you deeper. Another style is convenience. They return when they are lonely, stressed, bored, or needing comfort, and then they disappear when their life stabilizes. Another style is apology without change. They return saying they are sorry, they have been busy, they have been overwhelmed, they did not mean to make you feel uncertain, and then nothing actually changes. Here is the key. Returning is not building. Returning is maintaining access. Building requires change. Building looks like consistency, repair, clarity, forward motion. So if your relationship is a series of returns, you are not building, you are looping. And the loop is what drains you. Now, here is the one sentence that forces reality, and I want you to hear how calm it is. I like you, and I enjoy what we have. I am not asking for intensity. I am asking for clarity and consistency that matches how we are acting. I am not available for partner-level closeness without being on the same page. If you are not ready, I respect it, but I will step back. That sentence is the line between you and limbo. That sentence does not control them. It reveals them. And then you stop talking. Because anxious attachment wants to keep explaining until it feels safe. But safety will not come from more words. It will come from whether their behavior can meet the standard. Now, what happens next tells you which kind of limbo you are in. If they have capacity, they will not punish you for clarity. They might move slowly, but they move forward. They will offer something concrete: exclusivity, more consistent contact, plans that actually happen, a willingness to define what you are building. If they do not have capacity, you will usually see one of three responses: defensive minimization, vague reassurance with no change, or disappearance. Defensive minimization sounds like, "Why do you need labels? Why are you making this serious? Can we just have fun? You are pressuring me." Vague reassurance sounds like, "I really like you. I just need time. Soon, later. I am working on it." Disappearance is obvious. Now, here is where you keep your power. You do not debate. You do not chase. You respond warmly and slowly, and you adjust access. Because commitment limbo survives on full access without accountability. When you keep giving full access, you teach the other person that they do not have to choose you to keep you. So you remove the reward. You stop doing partner behaviors in an undefined connection. You do not punish. You simply become congruent. Fewer hangouts without a plan. No sleepovers if that bonds you deeper. Less emotional labor. You stop being the automatic partner while being denied partnership. And then you watch. If they value you and they have capacity, they will step up. If they do not, they will fade. Either way, you get reality. Now, I want to add one deeper layer that makes this episode land, because this is where viewers feel seen. Commitment limbo is not just about them. It also reveals what you reward. Many anxious people reward ambiguity because they confuse patience with loyalty. They think endurance is love. They think if they can just hold on, the other person will feel safe enough to commit. But safety is not built by you shrinking your needs. Safety is built by mutual reliability. If you keep rewarding limbo with full access, you are training the dynamic that you fear. You are training them that you will accept being unchosen. So the question becomes, what are you paying for closeness with? Are you paying with silence? Are you paying with self-abandonment? Are you paying with anxiety? Are you paying by acting chill while your body is screaming? Because if you are, the relationship is already costing you too much. Now, I want to speak to the avoidant listener for a moment, because this channel is at its best when it holds both sides without blaming. If you are avoidant and you keep someone in limbo, you might not be trying to hurt them. You might genuinely like them. But understand what limbo teaches the other person. It teaches them that intimacy equals uncertainty. It teaches them that closeness can be punished with withdrawal. It teaches them to monitor you instead of trust you. So even if you care, the structure you are creating is destabilizing. If you want to keep someone, you do not need a grand commitment. You need one small repair. One sentence that signals choice. One consistent behavior that reduces uncertainty. Avoidant attachment can be worked with if there is willingness. But if you are not willing, the honest thing is to stop taking partner benefits from someone who is bonding. Now, let's give the anxious listener the most stabilizing interpretation they can hold. Commitment limbo is not always rejection. It is often nervous system avoidance. But nervous system avoidance is still a relational behavior that affects you. You are allowed to have standards. You are allowed to require warmth. You are allowed to step back if the pattern keeps hurting you. Compassion does not mean access. Understanding does not mean tolerating. Now, here is the moment that usually determines whether someone stays stuck or gets free. The avoidant returns. They return with warmth. They return with tenderness. They return with intensity. And your nervous system floods with relief. Relief makes you want to collapse back into full access. This is where you change the pattern. You do not punish them, but you also do not reset the relationship back to full access without change. You respond warmly and slowly. You let consistency rebuild trust before you give deep access again. This is how you teach your nervous system that you are safe with you. This is also how you test whether they can actually show up or whether they only want the rush. Now, I want to give you the 2 outcomes because this is where you stop fearing the conversation. Outcome 1 is they step up. They choose you more clearly. They become more consistent. They repair. The limbo ends and a real relationship begins. Outcome 2 is they do not. They minimize, stall, or disappear. And that hurts, but it is also closure. And closure is a win because it returns your nervous system to you. When you stop living inside a question mark, you get your energy back, your focus back, your sleep back, your confidence back. Both outcomes are wins. The only losing outcome is staying in limbo and calling it love. Now, here is a reality check that should calm you. In secure dynamics, clarity does not create a crisis. It creates a deeper exhale. A secure person might move slowly, but they do not punish you for wanting to know where you stand. They do not deny reality. They might say, "I want to keep building. I want to be exclusive. I am not ready for big steps yet, but I am choosing you." That sentence is what your nervous system needs. Choosing. Not vibes, not moments, not chemistry. Choosing. So, if your clarity request triggers a collapse, the collapse is data. It tells you the container they want is not a relationship. It is a flexible access arrangement. And you are allowed to opt out. Now, let's close with the calm framework that keeps you powerful. Commitment limbo is partner closeness without partner agreement. It benefits the person who gets access without accountability. You do not chase clarity. You set a standard once, calmly. You adjust access based on behavior. Warmth without collapse. And you let their capacity reveal itself. If they step up with consistency and repair, you build. If they do not, you leave with dignity, and you let your nervous system recover. Because the right person will not keep you in a question mark. The right person will not need you to shrink your needs so they can stay comfortable. The right person can handle the sentence, "What are we?" And if they cannot handle that sentence, they are not ready to hold your heart. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.